Welcome to Countercultural Life Podcast. We are about to roll again. You can see I'm still trying to get my Jerry Lorenzo sponsorship. I'm wearing a different Fear of God shirt every time I come on, so then I could maybe get some swag from Jerry Lorenzo. My dude, 1977, we were born the same year. I mean, come on, dude. And Noah, just for my boy Noah, I got to let you know, I went on the Fear of God website to purchase my boy Noah a Christmas present that was going to be a Broncos Fear of God, because I swore I had seen it before, because I have scrolled all of the different essentials, NFL, MLB, and NBA. Hey, and let me say one more thing, Jerry. Look, OKC won the championship, and all we get's a sweatshirt. That's all we get. We get one sweatshirt. Like, come on, bro,
Small
for
market
real.
team, small market team.
Exactly. I'm like, that's what I kept saying. I was like, small market. This is ridiculous. We get one sweatshirt. Denver did not have a football Fear of God that I saw, but I will keep
Really?
looking.
That's crazy.
Yes,
Oh,
I
you don't
thought
have
the
to give
same
me
thing.
that, but
Oh, it's
I
happening. It's going
I
down.
okay.
It's going
That's
down.
crazy though.
I
They're not
already
a
had
small
planned.
market. Denver's like the second most
No,
popular team in America.
that's
It's
why
kind
I
of lame.
swore I had seen it. And I was like, am I just on the wrong spot in the website? But I scrolled everything. I searched Broncos, nothing. So Jerry, come on, hook us up. I want an OKC Thunder Essentials t-shirt. That's all I really want. And my boy needs a Broncos Fear of God. So shout out to Fear of God, but not a full shout out because we don't have the stuff that we need. So there you go.
Gotta hook us up. Yeah.
Got to hook us up. All right. Countercultural Life, getting into it. So we are going to do what's called a year in review podcast. And what we want to do is we want to talk, Noah talked last week about what his plans are for the new year, kind of some goals that he set. We talked a lot about goals. We talked a lot about a little bit of how to build them and how to kind of design where you're wanting to go as a person. That's why we talked about who before do. But what I've started to do recently is recently in my life, I've started to do what's called a year in review. And I've built a system, kind of a template to walk us through this. So, what I'm going to do today is teach you the template. So, I'm going to have questions for you to walk through maybe at the end of the podcast, or you can write these down while I'm going through them. But it is a year in review. It helps you set yourself up for the new year. It helps you build out some of your goals for the new year, and it helps put you in a better mind state, get a better mindset to go into the new year to make sure you're making advances as a person. You can't get stuck. Don't get stuck on soup and just do the same thing every year over and over and over. I once heard it said, I don't want to mess this quote up, but I'm gonna try it. Um, Somebody's calling me now, but I don't care. Let me decline this. That a 77-year-old was getting asked a question about how was life like, and the thing about him, the 77-year-old, is he had never made any advances in his life. He had never tried to grow. He never tried to get better. He never tried to develop, and he was a 77-year-old pissed off man. And somebody said, because he's not really 77 years old, he's only lived the same year over and over and over and over and over again. He really doesn't have 77 years of experience, which was crazy when I thought about it. I'm like, man, that's right. If you don't grow in advance, if you don't try to step into your God designed purpose, if you don't try to step into your calling, if you're not doing stuff to make a difference, to make a change in who you are, then you are literally going to be living the same year over and over and over. My boy Noah talked about um, killing Instagram on his phone. And that is what I'm going to work on this year. And when we get there, we'll talk a little bit more about that, because I realized that Instagram and social media is taking up a large portion of my life some days, and I need to do better at not letting it do that. So anyway, year in review, getting into it. Are you ready? No, are you ready for this? Year in review. All right.
Sir,
All right. So the first question to prepare for the new year. First question. Who brought you joy this year? Who brought you joy? Good way to do this. Little quick thought. Good way to do this is to do this with your calendar out. Some people use their phone photo memories, Facebook memories. I don't know if you look back through social media stuff that you prompted or stuff that you've seen that would prompt you to answer this question. So utilizing the tools and techniques that you have around you, which is a calendar, phone, looking back on social media. Who brought you joy this year? Think about who brought you joy. Think back through your life this last year. Who brought you joy? It's not about somebody. It's not about somebody you got to hang out with that was cool, that maybe was popular, or people like this person. It was a person that their presence gave you life. Their presence made you feel more real. Their presence made you let's see, somebody who maybe made you more yourself. Somebody who
That's a
helped you
great way to put
breathe
it.
deeper. Yeah, somebody who made you more yourself. Somebody who helped you breathe deeper. Somebody who really helped you slow down and take life in. Think about that. Who was that person or people? And start just writing them down. So as you listen to that question, who made you more yourself? Pause and write down 3 people who brought you peace, clarity, who made you more yourself. It's not just excitement. Who made you feel more alive? Who brought you joy this year? And what it reveals, it will reveal where God is already at work in your life. Oh, wait, this is not a Christian podcast, but still yet. Say it every time. Maybe it tells you what kind of community you actually need. Some of us have the wrong community in our life. We're allowing the wrong people in. And that gets us to question number 2. Oh, wait, I put my answers down just in case. So, my boy Noah is one of the people. Yes, you are one of the people that brought me joy in my life this year. It's because I love your tenacity and desire to just grab life for everything that it is. I love that. I see that. I love it. I appreciate it. You give me energy. There's 2 guys I work with now. I'm gonna not leave somebody off purposely. I'm just not thinking of everybody right now. I just wrote them down real quick. My mentors are on the list. I'm not gonna say last names, but Mike is on the list. Travis is on the list. Uh, Raphael Anzavino, I'm saying his last name. That's my 5th grade teacher. He's always gonna make the list because he is a spiritual mentor. Always has been in my entire life. Andrew. You know who you are. Andrew just met with you last week. That dude, every time I sit down across the table from him, I leave ready to take on the world. And those are some of the people in my life. Joe, you know who you are. Another one. JR, people that give me life. Anyway, the Moors, y'all give me
Forgetting one
life.
important one.
Who? Bree?
That would be a good one to say, probably.
Bree always gives me life. That's the thing. Like Bree is my life. She always gives me life.
I'm trying to keep you out of trouble here, all right?
I appreciate that.
That's
Yeah.
part of that's part of why I'm here is to keep you out of trouble. So
Absolutely. So, yes, if you are going through this, make sure your significant other is one of the people on the list. They definitely want to make the list just in case they watch this podcast later and they're like, are you serious? You didn't put me on the list? No one had to remind you? No, you're always on the list. All right. Leading to the second question. So, first question is what brought you joy? Second question, what drained you or triggered negative energy or emotions? This question helps you to name what weakens your ability to live with purpose and integrity. So, what drained you or triggered negative energy? What drained you or triggered a prompt for the listeners? What situations or people make it harder to be who I want to be or who I am called to be? What situations or people or relationships make it harder to be who I want to be? Um, I have learned that I need to be honest about who I don't need to be around. My biggest drains are environments or people where my disciplined behaviors are undone. What I mean by that, if I'm around people that make me want to, um, for instance, I have people in my life. I love people. I love my friends dearly, but there are some friends that every time that I hang out with them, I'm tempted to drink alcohol, and I don't need to be in that headspace. So, and it's okay to be in that headspace every now and then, just not all the time. So those could be some people in your life, or people that are energy vampires. They're constantly draining your energy. They talk about other people. They gossip. They always want to complain. Those people, you need to figure out a way to get them off your schedule. So, Noah, you got any of those people come to mind right now that you want to say? Not really. Don't say them.
It
Um,
drained me.
yeah. Any situations or people?
I don't know. Like that'd be a really hard one for me to uh sift through. Especially like we talk about, like I'm more of a pessimistic person in general, and I'm an ambivert, which just makes it very complicated for figuring out who drains me and who doesn't. But at the same time, just so much has changed this year for me. Like just so many things have happened. I started a new job at the beginning of the year. I just started another new job now. I got married this year. Moved this year. Like it's just so many things have happened that I felt like a constant sense of being drained just by stress. So I don't know if there's any like people I would can think of that would be that source of stress, but I would say the situations are, getting married is stressful. It's amazing, but it's stressful, and a lot of things that I don't need to reflect on and change because they were one-time things, and
Yeah.
a lot of things that hopefully will be better for, going into next year, trying to go in strong with all my goals and stuff to taking a lot of that out. So
Yeah, so it's important to know, like, well, getting married created stress. I don't think it was a negative space, but it created stress, and thankfully you don't have to do that ever again. So there's that. Um, but you want to walk into these first two questions realizing what gives you energy and what drains your energy, and then you want to schedule what gives you energy, and you want to not schedule what drains you, or you want to be good with your boundaries and barriers that you put up around your life in order to not live in a constant space of being drained. So, third question: what are you most proud of this year? What are you most proud of that you accomplished this year that you did? You just said one of them. Of course, getting married, that's a huge accomplishment. Um, that would be one of them. And this question just reframes success. It's not about applause, it's about alignment with the highest good. What are you most proud of? What are you aligned? How are you aligning to your highest good? That's something that you're most proud of. Um, just we want to make sure that we're taking time to celebrate those moments and that we write those moments down. So, anyway, my answer to that, wait, before we get into the answer, a prompt for this year. What did you do this year that required courage even if no one saw it? What did you do this year that required courage even if no one saw it? That's something to be proud of. I am learning how to overcome fear and embracing the idea of striving toward the highest good. I've been listening to Jordan Peterson's thing on the Gospels, and he points out how, and I've been reading the book, Those Who Wrestle with God, and it's talks about the biblical characters were always aimed at the highest good, walking out their purpose, and I've been really focused on that this year. Um, Noah, you reminded me of something that has stuck with me. You have those moments that people in your life, they have those moments that you never forget. And when you talked about how I have a fear of flying, and you said my fear was becoming your fear because it was my fear, and I was talking about it, and I had this expertise from working on airplanes, and you were like, it's kind of making me afraid. And I'm like, I got to overcome that. I got to overcome that so I don't make other people afraid. So what else I do this year that I'm most proud of? I built two leadership academies, coaching like 15 different executives and leaders. I designed a leadership profile process that I'm working really that's turned into something pretty beautiful. And most importantly, I am proud of the spiritual progress that I've made this year. Understanding how to hear God better and just understanding how to grow in who He is and who He's called me to be. And last but not least, recording multiple podcast episode. We're in the dozens now. I want to say dozens. We're getting close.
Yeah, this is gonna be, that's what I was looking up actually. We started this year and we're gonna have 22 episodes out, which is not bad. That's We went into the year wanting to go weekly. We did
Yep.
weekly for like 4 weeks. That was unsustainable
Yep.
because I was starting a new job and trying to get married. And I think I could do it now, but then we went bi-weekly and we 22, we were only like four short of every other week, and a lot happened for both of us. And I
Yep.
think that we also had a lot of uncertainty about how we were going to record, and I did required trips to before. I mean, until episode 18 was the first that we recorded online. And so I mean that's 17 episodes that we recorded in person. I went to Drew's house. I mean, I drove 4 hours to, I was coming to see my fiance at the time, but also I took a day out to record some episodes. So I mean that's something I'm pretty, I not even really looking at the numbers or the metrics or anything, just knowing that this is going to be a great resource for people one day whenever, especially to go back through and learn a lot. And I've learned a lot by doing it. So I'm pretty proud of the work we've done on it too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Podcast was a major proud moment for me. Got to have people in your life that push you, and that's why Noah was in the people that gave me joy because he pushed me into this. So that's another major reason. Also, shout out to Armor Strategies. Armor Strategies is the company that I have working with two big clients, maybe three to, and hopefully soon, but we'll see. That's a blessing. That's just, walking towards where God has lead me. And it's taken a whole bunch of faith and a whole bunch of overcoming fear to do that because it's easy to stay doing what I was doing, but it's not easy to step into scary places. So that's my challenge for anybody that's listening to this later or now. Do not be afraid to step into scary places. Every time you feel yourself getting afraid, push yourself into it. So, anyway, all right. Question number 4. Uh, what do you wish had been different this year? This is not really a regret question. It's just a clarity question. What do you wish had been different? It helps surface what you value but you didn't protect. Um, it also reveals fear still has an influence. Um, Invitations God may repeat. It is one of the things. What do you wish had been different? That's a great question to think through. The prompt for that is, what did you avoid that you now realize mattered? What did you avoid that you now realized mattered? Remember, it's not about living in regret. I wish I would have been, if I had to answer, I would say I wish that I would have been more intentional with the memory making moments in my life. Here's some key science. The research is starting to show Noah hasn't experienced this yet. The older you get, it seems like time speeds up. I have realized that more this year than any other year in my life. And it's not because time speeds up, it's because our brain has become so accustomed to the patterns that we've built that it seems like time is speeding up because actually we're thinking on autopilot a lot. So the way that you can stop doing that is you can live more intentionally in moments and you can live more intentionally in novelty. What that means, novel moments, moments that catch you off guard, moments forcing yourself to take different routes home, forcing yourself to watch shows you would not have watched before, forcing yourself to have conversations that you would not find comfortable. These are moments that are going to really slow time down because they're not normal things that your brain has gotten accustomed to doing. So that's what I wish I would have been more intentional with this year. Oh, last thing, I did not schedule a single monastery retreat this year, which is I'm upset about. I love going to a monastery to a silent retreat and not being able to say anything and just being quiet for a day and a half. So anyway, anything you regret this year? You wish you had been different? Not regret. You wish it had been different?
Yeah, I think that what I'm thinking of when you say that is that that's what a lot of my goals came out of. So I think that that's probably something important, with doing this is looking back on the things that you wish had changed, and a lot of them are going to be things that are, I think that if you pin it on one thing, I think that's closer to regret. Like if you made one decision, but it should be more like kind of what you're talking about, the daily habits, and what of those do you wish you had done different? And for me, it was a lot of doom scrolling, and getting way too caught up in things that I had no control over. So that's what I'm trying to limit going into the next year. So
Yeah, it's that's why whenever we were talking about goals last week, it's like it's the who before do. Like who are you trying to become? What do you want to limit in your life that has held you back? And who are you trying to become next year, which is the next question. What does a thriving version of you look like 1 year from now? So it's actually taking the time to sit down with pen and paper, or maybe sit down with a phone, ready to type some stuff, or at a computer, and really put it down. What does a thriving version of you look like 1 year from now? That's what when you were talking about your physical goals that you had, it was like, what do you see that? How is it going to affect you? What is it going to? It's going to make you more confident. It's going to make you more happy with how you look in the mirror. It's gonna. I mean, there does so many things, but it's like, who are you trying to become? Like that's what makes you really lock in the desire to complete these habits and behaviors every day, because it's these habits that are going to create the you you're trying to become. It's the behaviors from the habits that are going to create the you that you're trying to become. So this question trains vision with integrity across the four spaces that we talk about in the Countercultural Life podcast, which is the spiritual space, the mental space, the emotional space, and the physical space. It helps you see whether your growth is balanced or it's distorted. It also helps you see what success actually means to you. And it helps you to see whether fear or faith is shaping your future. Like what's shaping your future, fear or faith? Um, the question you need to ask yourself, the prompt you can think through: if nothing changed but who you are, would your life improve? If nothing changed but who you are, would your life improve? So my answer is spiritually, I want fear minimized, courage and God maximized. I want doubt gone. I still doubt a lot. I still struggle with trusting God, and I want that to be at least 50% better next year. So I wanted to put an actual number on it. Mentally. So what does my life look like mentally? I want full certifications in artificial intelligence and to be operating in a way that makes the company viable looking into the future. That's what I want to be. Emotionally, I want to step fully into my calling and stop letting fear drive decisions. Physically, I want to add 10 pounds of muscle, weigh 200 pounds, and be near 11% body fat. That's what I'm shooting for. I'm at 17 right now, 17% body fat. I weigh 220, and muscle's pretty good. So 10 pounds would be a little crazy, but I put on 8 this year, so I might be able to do 10 next year. All
but you'd
right.
have to
What?
lose 30. You'd have to lose 30 pounds then.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
Feels
crazy.
like a lot. Feels like a lot for a healthy person.
It is a lot, but I've been doing a lot of research, man. This is my life. The four areas that I preach so much are my life. This is where I live every day. Every
That's
day
just
I'm
the thing,
doing it.
though. It's the thing about it being attainable, though. That's the SMART
Right.
goal. So you gotta,
Yes.
it's. I'm not saying you can't do it. I know you can if you. I know you can. I'm saying, do you have time? Do you
Yeah.
truly have time for that to be an attainable goal? 30 pounds.
Yes, that's hard. It's kind of a stretch goal, and another reason why I love Noah is that right there. He just hit me with an aspect of the SMART goal, unrehearsed. Is it attainable? He hit me with the SMART aspect, specific,
It's all
measurable,
the other
attainable.
things. It's all the other. I'll give you that it's all the other things.
Yeah, yeah. It's I think it's a stretch goal for me. I mean, what I would really be happy, I'd be happy with 5 pounds of muscle, but that's still losing 25 pounds. I want to get back to 200 so bad.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're in the age range that I'm in. It's a lot harder. I remember being your age and wanting to lose 20 pounds and running on a treadmill 2 miles a day for like 3 weeks, and I lost 20 pounds. I'm like, man, this is too easy. Now it's like 6 months to do that, 7 months. Anyway,
Dude,
all
I
right.
would love that to just be able to run on a treadmill and that fixes my issues. I could throw a movie on and just be on the treadmill while I watch a movie.
Yeah, if you ever need to lose weight, that's what you can do. I'm telling you, I don't think you're. I've seen your dad. I don't think you're ever gonna have to. You're ever gonna struggle with being fat. I
No.
don't think. I don't think that's a thing. That's a
Well,
blessing.
I guess maybe when yeah, because my metabolism isn't gonna speed up, or well, I guess maybe that is it. But I'm never gonna be because my thing is I'm never really that hungry. Like I don't eat a lot, so that's why I can't. That's like I have to force myself to eat to try to gain weight. So that's the hardest part for me.
Yeah.
But
Yep. No, you would have to. I mean, you'd be one of those people that I would tell to you actually use weight gainer protein and stuff. But your body might just. Man, I'm getting scientific right now. I think you're an ectomorph, which is the body style that you have, which means it is the hardest body style to put weight onto. But you can cut up really quick. You can add muscle and cut up a lot easier
yeah,
than a lot of people can. So I don't think muscle's your problem. I just think gaining weight would be your problem.
yeah. The thing is that I guess we're getting kind of in the weeds, but really what I want is to just be more fit, like not run out of breath when I'm running and stuff. But if
Yeah,
I start doing a lot of cardio, I start losing weight. And I don't
yeah,
have any weight to lose. Like I really like I can't lose weight. It just makes me sickly. Like I
yeah.
look skin and bones and then I don't feel good. So that's the problem. And so like I'd have to gain weight so I could lose weight. I don't know. It's weird. I
Well,
don't really know what to do,
here you go.
but
So now you got me in my space. Um, so I would do this. I would do your workouts in a cardio style.
mm.
So I would
So
do
CrossFit.
no. I'm not gonna get started on CrossFit. You're not gonna bait me. You're not gonna rage
I
bait
like
me in.
CrossFit. I like CrossFit though. It's
I
good for me, and I need
it's
motivation. So
it's good for you. It's good for you, and take advantage of it while your body repairs easily. Because I know so many people that hurt themselves in CrossFit because they can't.
I scale back hard. I don't push myself to the point of hurting myself.
Well, and the thing about it is, a lot of times in CrossFit, they're not paying attention to their form, and they sling weight. And when you sling weight, that's when you hurt yourself. When you're slinging
Yeah.
weight, slinging kettlebells, and then running and taking off, and then coming back, running, taking off, like people pull muscles easy. Anyway, I would do like if what am I thinking of? So you can do like a weight workout, but there's no rest. Just don't rest. Like some people like will
Mhm.
bench press and then they'll rest for 3 minutes between sets. I would tell you to superset everything. So I would say like, all right, no, you're going to do these three exercises. You're going to bench, you're going to do flies, and then you're going to do incline bench press. But you're going to rest like 15 seconds, long enough for you to switch the movement. So you're going to bench, and you're going to go to the fly machine and then do flies. And then by the time it takes you to walk back over to the incline bench, then you're going to jump right on bench. So that way you're getting the cardio. So your heart rate is increasing, but at the same time you're working muscle. So you don't have to worry about
Mhm.
losing muscle. Anyway, if I were
Makes sense.
fitness training you, that's what I would say. That's
Yeah.
which is the way that I work out. And I've only had one person in my life work out with me because they can't keep up. They quit really like, dude, you go too fast. I'm trying to get the cardio aspect in too. Um, all right,
I would need that. I wish I could come work out with you. You'd
bro,
have to
you
let me
would.
scale back the weight, but I know I'd probably hate it, but you'd be able to motivate me to actually do it. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's no stopping. And it's you I might start with a 2 mile run and end with a 2 mile run sometimes. Of course you wouldn't have to do that, but it's just getting in that speed and that I can get a workout that takes people 2 hours, I can get it done in 45 minutes. So
mm.
it's all about speed and doing it the right way. Anyway, all right. Question 6. What themes did God repeat this year? What themes did God repeat this year? A prompt. What truth kept resurfacing even when you tried to move on? So I think like this God speaks through repetition more than he speaks through volume. A lot of people are looking for God to speak, through volume, but he's actually speaking through repetition. So when people say, we speak in Christianese, like, well, I'm just waiting on God to confirm it because they want him to prove what he's trying to tell them in their lives when he's actually in the process or he's in the business of doing that all the time anyway. We just got to learn to pay attention. So what themes kept repeating this year in your life? Um, those are what you need to look for. What truth kept resurfacing even when you try to move on? Um,
Okay.
So my answers for those would be identity was a theme that kept coming up over and over and over. Identity, identity, identity. Learning how to walk with God, walking with God, and what that means. Hearing God is a way of life, not a skill you develop, which goes back to walking with God is also a way of life, not a skill you develop. Um, and leadership as protection and formation, not consumption. What does that mean? You can't just consume all the books and go to all the trainings and think you're going to be a better leader. Leadership is about who you are, who God is forming you as a person, how God is forming you as a person, who He's forming you into. So that's what it's about, and paying attention to the behaviors that are slowing you down, the behaviors that are limiting your ability to interact with people at a high level, anything like that. How is God building you? That is what leadership is. So leadership is formation and protecting what God is doing in your life, not consumption. So thoughts. What are your thoughts on what themes did God repeat this year? Can you think of any off the top of your head? Maybe.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely that I have to let go of control. Um that just things are gonna happen no matter what, and I have to, you know, be better at balancing out the part of being responsible with my life, but also just trusting God to take care of things that I can't
Yeah.
always take care of. So, which is a lot for me because I really, I'm a plan, like I try to like plan out, you know, especially like financially, like budgeting and trying to do all that. And things happen, things come up out of nowhere, and just trying to trust that it's all part of the plan, and that, you know, and also just slowing down. Like fi- I really struggled this year with feeling like I was running out of time, which is, I know, ironic for a 23-year-old, but I just feel like if I don't fix all these things now, I'm out of time, which is ridiculous, but it just gets in my head. So that's the thing that I just have had to learn, or I'm still, I mean, I'm not good at it at all, but it's something that I definitely was repeated to over and over through the different things that were thrown at me, is just patience in the season, enjoy the season, and just trust that there's a plan going forward, even if I don't know it all.
When you say run out of time, is it a mortality thing that gets stuck in your brain?
No,
Okay.
I'm not afraid
It's
of death at all.
no, and that's I asked that because high performers think about their mortality more than regular people do. And not even that they're afraid of it. It's just that they know it's coming. They're not afraid of death, but they think about it like it's a thing. Like this tattoo on my arm is all about that. So you notice it, I don't know if you can see it. It's this the skull with the clock inside of it. So that's what that is. That's my reminder, like that time is limited. And I need to stay focused so that I can accomplish what God has me here on this earth to accomplish. Um, that is the driving factor of my life. And I was listening to a podcast a few months back, and they talked about the time thing with high performers. So they seem to think about it more. They seem to, and it's not really like they're afraid to die. It's just like time is limited. One of my favorite pictures is the Saint Jerome picture. If I could turn the camera, I'd show you. It's on my wall here. You've seen it. Saint Jerome. He was when he was translating the Vulgate, or he's translating into the Vulgate from Hebrew into Latin from Hebrew. He kept a skull on his desk to remind him that he was running out of time. So interesting thought that you said you're running out of time. That's what made me think about it. Cool.
I think it's more just like I'm a big dreamer. Like I
Mm,
had a lot of big dreams, and I think I'm coming to terms with that a lot of them aren't going to happen, and also, you know, trying to be more focused on my, you know, now that I'm married, that is like my top priority now. So,
yeah.
um, figuring that out. So,
Um, Good man. I love the way you think. Question. Only a few questions left. What life lessons changed how you see things? I love this question because it reminds me to hold my strong opinions loosely, meaning that I need to always be open to learning different perspectives and understanding how to see the world differently, and being okay with having my opinions challenged, and being okay with walking away from a conversation going, hey, I learned something new, and that shifted the way I think. So what life lessons change how you see things? Another prompt for you to kind of aligns with that question is, what belief did you outgrow this year? What belief did you outgrow this year? Man, anyway, what do you think? What are you thinking about when you think about that question? What belief did you outgrow this year?
Mm. Man, I don't know. Uh, yeah, I don't have an answer for that off the top of my head. But
That's a harder one. Um,
yeah.
Man, what beliefs did I outgrow this year? I kind of This was a short answer because I really didn't have a good one either. Um, I learned I put this around, I framed it around conversations. What belief did I outgrow this year? I outgrew the belief that all conversations matter, which I know is weird by saying what I just said a minute ago, but I heard something recently that probably framed the answer to this question, and it's be mindful of the conversations you have, because some of the conversations are allowing sin to be planted in your life. And that sin could be gossip. That sin could be like, be careful with your conversations. Be careful with what you're allowing people to speak into your life. So I guess that's not a good answer to that question. And I'm going to have to think more deeply on that. I tried to run through this today to kind of really get a good, where I usually take a long time doing it. I usually take the first couple of weeks, and I'm going to revisit these as over the next couple of weeks, see if anything else comes to mind, because I always want to start the year out right. But yeah, that was a harder one. All right. Question 8: who are your most influential mentors? Um, who are your most influential mentors this year? They're going to be probably some of the people that were in question number one, and you want to make sure that you're scheduling time with them. So, a lot of my most influential mentors are, first of all, I say there's two types of mentors. There's real physical, in your face, you can connect to them mentors. And then there's electronic mentors, like who are you listening to, who are you growing from, that's online or podcast, like who are some of those mentors. You want to have those mentors and make sure you're building that in as well. So my same mentors would be the same ones I talked about up above: Mike, Andrew, Travis, Joe, Raphael. These are my mentors. Um, and then of course I have some great electronic mentors too, long distance mentors. One would be Craig Rochelle. One would be Taylor Welch in the Deep End podcast. One would be listen to a lot of John Acuff on goals. Listen to a ton of John Acuff lately, especially with the new year coming up. Those would be some of my mentors. Damon Thompson's a preacher I've been listening to a ton of. Shout out to Damon Thompson. I got to come see you soon. He's in Mobile, Alabama. Um, anyway, those are some of mine. What about you? Mentors. Some of your most influential mentors.
Mm. I mean, you're definitely there up there. Oh, my dad is probably that's something that I kind of struggle with. I've struggled a lot with this since moving. I don't get to spend as much time talking to you, talking to Kenny, talking to other people that I had at school. It's just not built out as much here for me. But I mean, I have people that to go to, but it's just I just got into a really good rhythm there. And when you leave for a couple years to go to college, you come back and it's a little different. But my worship pastor, I talked to him about stuff, and those are some like practical people like in my life. And then in the online space, you know, I, I really need to find that good. I struggle with. I listen to a lot of stuff that's more I listen to a lot of political stuff more than spiritual stuff, and a lot of stuff that's kind of centrist and just presenting facts. But um, you know, a couple. podcasts and stuff that I enjoy, but I wouldn't say are like mentory. They just are more for entertainment and information. Um, so I was thinking about this the other day, kind of like trying to maybe listen to some more sermons or some audiobooks or something like that, but um, you know, kind of needing that more positive outlook because a lot of my outlooks that I listen to are more negative on the world in general, which is not good for an already pessimistic person. So,
Yeah, you got to be careful what you feed yourself. So I mean, but at least you've thought about it and you have kind of a plan going forward. You just need to look for some, maybe start to build that time in where you're listening to positive things. I listened to a
mm,
podcast the other day that I was so just enamored with while I was listening to it, and it was The Rest is History podcast.
mhm.
And of course, two British dudes, Tom Holland being one of them, who wrote a great book called Dominion. Um, Fantastic podcast. My son that's close to your age, he turned me on to it. But they had a 5 episode The Rest is History podcast on Jack the Ripper. And I could
Mm.
not stop listening because they walk through every element of it. But I
Wow.
left that podcast going, this was a fantastic podcast, but it did not build me in any way, shape, or form. It was great, but I was like,
Yeah.
man, because all I could think about was that podcast and Jack the Ripper for the next day and a half. I'm like, that can't be a good place to be, a good mindset to be in. So anyway, man, yeah. So next question, put it up here on the screen. How would you rate yourself in the 4 areas? I'm going to go through the rest of these questions kind of quick. How would you rate yourself, scale of 1 to 10, in the 4 areas? So, how would you rate yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically? How would you rate yourself over the last year? I'm very critical, so I'm always going to rate myself lower anyway. But I rated myself spiritually 7, mentally 6, emotionally. No, I rated myself good and emotionally and physically an 8 because both of those were really really good, but mental 6, even though I think I learned a ton, I still don't think it was enough. In spiritual, I don't think I'll ever rate myself above a 7. Um, so that's how I rate myself this year. So make sure you're rating yourself in those areas and maybe write down the why. Next question. What do you need to stop doing? What do you need to stop doing? What habit steals your attention and gives nothing in return? What habit steals your attention and gives nothing in return? This is based off of what I learned from you earlier, the whole Instagram thing. This is what I put even before you told me about Instagram. I need to stop chasing dopamine through scrolling and distractions. Instead, I want to replace that with things that are good dopamine hits for me, which you're going to make fun of me and probably call me a nerd. I love organizing files on my computer. I love organizing things in my house, and that always makes me feel good. I love reading and I love just building systems. So my goal right now is like where I have to have something to replace the habit. I've already wrote it down and put it in multiple spots. Instead of going to social media like I like to do, I'm going to go straight to my Evernote file and I'm going to start reading my ideas and thoughts and I'm going to start organizing them into the right category. So it's my
Mm.
goal. Anyway, what about, I think we already know what you want to stop doing. You want to
Yeah.
stop. Yeah.
Yeah. I've talked about it enough.
Yeah. Um, what do you value most and are you scheduling it? That's a good question to ask yourself. Show me your calendar and your bank statement, and I'll tell you what you value. So, what do you value, and are you scheduling it? Um, my top values: spirituality, physical health, and family. I challenged myself when I wrote down physical health as number 2 and family as number 3. I'm like, wow. I hope nobody reads this. Well, why is physical health number 2 and family number 3? I value my family greatly. They're the most important human beings on this planet to me, but I have to stay healthy in order to interact with them at a high level. So that's kind of
Hmm.
why I put it. Question number 12. What are you most grateful for? What are you most grateful for? This is great. I did this last year, and it was very good. I told the people who I was grateful for. I think Noah probably got one of those text messages at the end of the year. I told them, and I told them why I was grateful for them and what they meant to me. So when you write down what you're grateful for, if it's a person, make sure you shoot them a text, give them a phone call, and tell them why. And that is going to start your year in the right space. What or who do you need to release in your life? What or who do you need to release? Noah talked about releasing control. I'm working on that as well. Um, I'm releasing old identities, some fear based attachments, and there's some relationships that I'm gonna let go of this year in my life. So, all right, that is the last question. So that is your year in review. 45 minutes. We're in this piece.
Yeah.
So
If you
what
want,
would?
you could, do you want to format that so we can put it kind of like a link to it in the description
Yep,
for
absolutely.
somebody to download and have all the questions to go through?
Yep, I will format that and I will send it. We'll put it in the description. I'm writing that down. Format this.
You
I'll
got a week.
format it. I'll
So
format it and the prompts. And we'll put that in the description. Take your time, walk through it, man. Grab your calendar, get your calendar on the screen if you have an electronic calendar, get your planner in front of you, get your phone in front of you, scroll through your photos from last year, um, revisit some of your without getting drawn into doom scrolling. Maybe jump on your Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I don't know how Snapchat works, so you don't either.
don't get on Snapchat.
Don't get
No,
on
I know how
Snapchat.
Snapchat works. Don't. I
Don't
have it.
don't.
I have two people that I talk to on Snapchat, and it's just streaks, and that's the only reason I still have it. But
Who is one of those streaks?
they're no, Reagan's not one of them, actually.
Oh,
It's two other friends.
that's how I
Well,
know.
the thing was, Reagan and I had one, and then we lived once we got married, our streak died. It was like a 580-day streak, and it just died as soon as we lived together because there was
Yeah,
no reason to. But
yeah.
they're just two
The,
friends of mine. So,
yeah. The only reason I even know about streaks is because my daughter, we were on the cruise. First time we went on a cruise, they were trying to build a plan to make sure they kept their streaks alive. So
dude, that used to be a thing. Like people used to give their passwords to people and like be like, "You got to log into my account and keep all my streaks alive." So,
yeah, crazy. All right. Make sure the key to this though is to sit down and do the year in review. Make it be intentional about it, walk through it,
mhm.
and seeing that this is the year in review and we're coming in to this next season. And I believe 2026 is going to be an amazing, productive, beautiful year. I do want to close with a prayer that I kind of put some thoughts together with. But
Yeah.
just a reminder, this is not a Christian podcast. It's not a Christian podcast. It's not a Christian podcast. No, but we are going to close with a prayer. I put some thoughts together and I just kind of want to read through them a little bit, kind of what the thoughts I put together. So you might see me close my eyes, open my eyes. So just bear with me. We're rolling. So as we come into this year, we want to say, God, thank you that you gave us the opportunity to reflect on this past year, to work on the things we need to work on, to change the things we need to change, and to get better where you want us to get better. Thank you for the moments of clarity that you brought us throughout this process, for every relationship that brought life, every situation that brought life. Thank you for your presence in our life. Um, we ask you for the courage, uh, not quiet courage, but the loud kind, that we can walk into and have the courage to walk into the places that you've called us to walk into. Help us to not be fearful in anything, but to live fearlessly every day. Help us to not want to blend in with society, but we want to boldly stand out where you call us to stand out. And we trust you with what's next. We trust you with what's ahead. We thank you for this year. We thank you for the ability that you're going to give us to walk into this year with purpose and passion. And it's your son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Rolling into the new year, coming into a new space, new opportunities, new mindsets, watching Noah continue to be the amazing young man that he is. I get to be part of his life, so I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful for you. Let me end this podcast by saying, Noah, I'm grateful for you, your push, your excellence, your mindset, your desire to learn, your desire to grow. You ask great questions, never stop that, and just continue being the man that God has called you to be, the husband now that God has called you to be, the priest of your home. Uh, Lead your wife and future family well, and I'm blessed to be able to see that. So, love you, bro.
Love you too. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. We will get back at this soon, and we will have the link to that template here in the episode. Shout out. Peace.